Original.
Hello and welcome to Web Crawlers, the podcast where we do a deep dive into some of our favorite unsolved mysteries. Sometimes they're not my favorite. Each week we will introduce our topic, lay out our research and findings, reveal some conspiracy theories, and conclude with our own hypothesis. Who knows, we might even solve the case. I am Allie Siegel.
I'm Melissa Stettin.
And I'm producer Maria.
Web Crawlers has a Patreon, and we are going to record episodes next week to get access to rewards, bonus episodes, shout outs, discounts, and these videos. You get the videos of our podcast like a day early. Go to patreon.com/webcrawlers. You can donate as little as $2 a month to become one of our bimbo patrons. Also, you'll get to see me right now. I'm doing the podcast from bed in a face mask, which is pretty exciting.
It really shocked Melissa and I. We couldn't believe it.
You couldn't wrap
Yeah,
your head
no, I
around
didn't know
it.
if you got stung by some bees and you needed to put like medication on your face or something.
Because the face mask isn't everywhere. It's just where I'm breaking out.
And what made you not? Because I never get that. I always want to put it all over no matter what. You have the self-control, I guess, to just do it where it needs to be.
Yeah, I'm not like a fiend.
A face mask fiend.
Yeah. Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. If you give us a 5-star review, screenshot and DM it to us, and we will shout you out on the podcast.
Can I?
Additionally,
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Go, please.
Go.
Allie,
No,
no,
just
go.
no,
I don't
go.
have
Nope.
anything to say.
You go.
No.
You had something to say.
No, because I think Allie was
You
going
had
to
something
say
to
it.
say.
Allie
Just
was
say
going
it.
to say it. Say it.
It's about the hotline.
Oh, no, that's not what I was going to say.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say you've got some new supporters.
Oh, we
Yes.
do?
Oh.
And as you guys know, you can support web crawlers by sending a couple bucks their way. And we've got this Sarah, who's getting a master's degree, who we have a wonderful voicemail from that we'll play at some point.
Oh, we do. Yeah.
She gave $8 and she says, I'm studying biostatistics and the data tells me that web crawlers and Bigfoot's dick are hot as hell. And then
Wow.
Portland Bugle gave $5 and said, podcasts are supposed to be two male comedians yammering cynically with no preparation. God damn it. This is interesting with great chemistry. What are you trying to pull?
Oh, what are we
It's true
trying to
that.
pull?
That's
The wool over everyone's
so
eyes.
you have 10 supporters in all. And
Wow.
How much moolah?
under $40.
That's great, though.
So
Listen, I'd expect more. Like, if you like, why doesn't everyone just tip $1 every episode? Like, that's crazy.
I know,
So
but that's
one of the
but whatever.
mysteries of the world.
Supporter.acast.supporters/webcrawl. I don't know. Anyways, Erios has a hotline. Insert the jingle here.
626-604-6262.
And please leave us voicemails and we will play them in our Friday mini episodes. We have a ton of new patrons.
We do.
Melissa, who are they?
We have Jeb C, which I
Yes.
don't know.
Do you think it's
if
the Jeb?
that's- I don't know.
Interesting. I asked, well, let's talk about him every episode. I asked Carl if he is Jeb, and he said he could neither confirm nor deny.
What?
So
That's suspicious.
I agree.
okay.
Huh. All right. So we've
So
got,
ruminate on that.
okay, Jeb C, Alina, Carrie C, Rachel W, Julie P, Sarah M, Bill E, Mackenzie, Sarah H, Ryan E, Christopher L, Kestrel M, Lucy F, Tracy L, and Jessica M.
Kestrel.
Welcome.
Wow.
Kestrel. That's
Welcome
a
to the
cool
game.
name.
Yeah, that is a cool name.
That
Kestrel.
is. It reminds me of something from like the Renaissance fair.
Yeah. Kestrel's turkey legs.
Makes me want a chicken leg real bad.
Kestrel's beaded head garments. Kestrel's
Mackerel.
sword,
Yes. Oh,
sword emporium.
I love the Renaissance Fair.
I hate it.
Kestrel's haberdashery.
The Renaissance Fair freaks me the hell out. I went once in college and I was weird. It was weird.
I've never been.
Oh, Melissa.
Oh
We
my
should do a
God,
Web
Melissa,
Crawlers
it's
episode
so
on it.
fun.
We should do a Web Crawlers episode on the Renaissance Fair.
I don't even really know what it is.
Oh, Melissa.
No,
it's
one
what it
time
sounds
when it's open again, it's exactly what it sounds like. When it opens again, we should go and see if we can interview people like live and video.
Because it's
from
a lot of like role playing, right?
It's like a cosplay thing when people are like,
Right.
it's like medieval times, except it's like a festival.
Except it's Renaissance, not medieval.
Right.
Oh. I just remember seeing like Busy Phillips's Instagram photo of like her and all her girls dressed up.
All in her
Ugh,
girls,
there or
me and my
something.
girls.
All the gals at the Renaissance Fair. I just really love cosplay culture. LARPing.
What?
Yeah.
LARPing?
LARPing, live action role play.
She gets it.
You've never heard of LARPing, Marie?
No, I've never heard of LARPing.
Really?
Oh my God, I feel like you would love LARPing.
If I could
Yeah.
go, well, you know, my favorite TV show of all time is Manor House, as is Frontier House
Oh,
and all the
yes.
house series is. Allie tried watching one
Yeah.
and said this isn't for me.
Oh my God, they're so
was so
good.
boring.
They're
They're
so
the best.
good though. You gotta stick with it.
But if I
They're
could
amazing.
LARP in like an English manor from the,
yeah.
oh my God, I would LARP.
I would love that. I would love that. Although I would worry that I would be on like the lower house, like the kitchen.
Yeah, you'd be like
workers
a
or
skull.
whatever.
You scream scullery maid.
Scullery
yeah,
maid.
You do. She does. Melissa,
Okay.
you are like the definition of a scullery maid, and I'm the definition.
What would I be? A princess?
No, you'd be like a footman.
What does that mean? Like a
No,
butler?
you'd be like the horse boy. You'd be like the stable boy.
Stable boy. Allie the stable
like
boy.
that.
I could see you.
Me too.
Hello, Cheerio. Need to ride a horse today?
Yeah. And I'd be probably like the lady of the house and like.
I actually see that because you're kind of scary. There's some good documentaries on LARPing, apparently. I can't remember. There was one like I love that I saw, but it says like Monster Camp, Darkon, I guess is one. Although I wish I remembered the one that I guess it is Darkon is the one that everyone's saying. I watched one that's like so great and so endearing. Just like LARPing communities are so cute. Anyways, back to the podcast.
Back to
Forgot
what
we were doing one. Melissa, what is our episode about today?
Our episode today was actually a listener suggestion.
Yes.
They suggested the Blackburn cult.
We're so into it.
So, in the 1920s Los Angeles, a mother-daughter duo of 60-year-old May Otis Blackburn and her 24-year-old daughter Ruth started a cult called Blackburn with a goal of swindling members out of money. Isn't that all cults? So the cult had bizarre rituals and was connected to mysterious deaths, disappearances, and sex scandals.
Ooh.
There was also an attempted resurrection of a 16-year-old girl whose corpse had been stored in a wooden box in a makeshift mausoleum underneath her parents' house. The cult was so bizarre that justices on the California Supreme Court in 1931 admitted that they have never heard anything so weird. What in the world was the deal with this cult? Let's get into it.
Nay.
Oh God.
Also, I read apparently like there were tons of cults in LA in the 1920s.
Yeah. It was a thriving time for cult. Yeah. That's when, like, I guess the whole movement started.
Yeah, because like it was like flappers and old Hollywood, and I guess like a lot of like steel or oil magnates, and it was just like, how do you pronounce it?
Magnet.
Magnets.
Magnet. It's Magnus.
Magnus. Oh, Magnus. But it was like a whole new world, and everyone was just like free spirit, just trying to do their thing.
Just wanting to belong, you know?
Yeah.
So who was May Otis Blackburn and her daughter Ruth? So they were originally from Oregon, and May founded her own production company called Starlight. And she personally financed Oregon's first full-length movie called A Nugget in the Rough. And according to IMDb, May's daughter Ruth played the Nugget.
That's what I would be.
And there's I can't find this movie anywhere. There's a couple film stills from it of like Ruth.
What's it called?
A Nugget in the Rough. But it was back in like early 1900s. So the money to make her movies came from scamming rich people. And May always cast her daughter Ruth as the lead of her films, but the movies always failed and they would always run out of money. So that's when they moved to Los Angeles, and Ruth was an aspiring actress. She was also a taxi driver.
Okay, so I read that she was a taxi driver, but then I was listening to a podcast this morning, and I think that that's a mistake. I think that she worked at something called a taxi club, which is something different, and it's something kind of like a sex workery type thing.
Oh. So she worked at a taxi club.
Which I think is like people get tickets, and then they give the ticket to the woman they want to quote unquote like dance for them. Like it's a weird like stripper burlesque
you know why?
thing.
Listen to this. I just popped it in my head. Remember in A League of Their Own when Madonna's doing her thing and she goes, "What do you want me to do? Go back to taxi dancing?"
Oh. Yes. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Mystery solved.
We cracked another case.
Wow. I never knew All the Way May was a taxi dancer.
That's why she went all the way. That's why she was all the way.
All the way May. Taxi. Yeah.
A taxi dancer is a paid dance partner in a partner dance. Taxi dancers are hired to dance with their customers on a dance-by-dance basis. When taxi dancing first appeared in taxi dance halls during the early 20th century in the U.S., male patrons would typically buy dance tickets for a small sum each. Oh, so it was like an escort, basically. Like a dancing escort.
You pay per dance.
A dance escort.
Ooh, want to hear some vocabulary of dancers? The vocabulary of taxi dancers?
In a 1920s accent, please. Hey, see? Give me the... It's just like flying, see?
I'm going to be buying the groceries. That means living in a clandestine relationship. Fruit means an easy mark. Hot stuff is stolen goods. On the ebony means a taxi dance hall or taxi dancer having social contacts with men of races other than white.
Oh.
Paying the rent, living in a... Oh, that's another living in a clandestine? Anyway, so this is very interesting. I never knew this existed.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
There's a book. There was a sociological study done in 1932 called "The Taxi Dance Hall: A Sociological Study in Commercialized Recreation in City Life." And it's all about taxi dancing in Chicago. That sounds like a very fun read.
Ooh.
Why does everything always come back to Chicago?
Because it's the
Craig will
center
tell
of the... Yeah, Craig knows.
It's the hellmouth.
Chicago's got to be some sort of hellhole or something.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely some sort of, what do you call it?
Hellmouth.
No, I know, but what's that thing? Where's the thing Sabrina had in her closet or whatever?
Oh, like
Remember
a wormhole or something?
Yeah, but it was called...
Portal.
Yeah.
Portal.
Yeah, it's like a portal.
Yeah, there's got to be a portal
In
Chicago.
Buffy, it was called the Hellmouth.
Yeah.
Well.
Depends what channel you're
All right,
watching.
we can continue now.
However, the two realized that the easiest way to get fame and money was to apparently start a cult. But before they moved to Los Angeles, in 1899, May married a man named John Weiland. He was a gambler who kept losing their money, so they separated. And then May began dating another man named Rudolph Schultz, and she would conceal her daughter Ruth from him. And Ruth stayed with her grandmother for a while, and she actually she ended up thinking that her grandmother was her mother. And she didn't find out till later that May was actually her real mother. Because May wanted
So
to
creepy.
I know, May wanted to hide Ruth from these guys she dated to seem younger and like more available. And Ruth was just seen as this inconvenience. And then they also referred to each other as sisters a lot, not mom and daughter.
Which feels like weird and sexual to me.
Yeah.
I don't like it. So then things start to get weird. May and Ruth said that the Archangel Michael appeared to them and said the world was coming to an end and that they were the two witnesses of the revelation. May said Michael told her and her daughter to write a book called The Great Sixth Seal, but I got it as a different name. I was listening to this podcast and they said it was a different name, but maybe it was a few books, which would explain the mysteries of life and earth.
The Seven Trumpets of Gabriel is another.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure which one it is.
The angels also promised to reveal the quote unquote lost measurements that would lead them to all the hidden gold and oil deposits in the world. She was also told she'd be one of the 11 queens who would rule the world from 11 mansions built on Olive Hill in Hollywood, which is Barnsdale Park in Los Feliz.
I went to a wine tasting there once.
I've had picnics there many a time.
It's a lovely park on a hill.
I've been on a date there.
Ooh, how'd it go?
We went on it one date after. He was a horror movie editor. Was
this the same guy that ghosted you?
No, I like date.
Horror movie producer, editor, directors is your type.
No joke. I've dated like 5 guys who make horror movies.
That's funny.
I've dated 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 guys in the horror movie business. I've got a kink. Writing this book took a lot of time, and they would eventually need a printing press to actually produce the book. So May needed some more money. So the first victim of this scheme, Ruth met while she was working as a taxi dancer, was Arthur Osborne. Arthur was a rich guy, and Ruth and May wanted to use him for money. So while Ruth was dancing all the time, May is not happy at home, and she's looking for ways to make money. So she's like, let's use Arthur's money to write this book. Mm-hmm. So Ruth asked Arthur for money to finance the book. They're calling it The Seven Trumpets of Gabriel, which, as we said, will talk about how to save the world, get immortality, and all this cult stuff. Arthur is like, Ruth, where are you getting the information to write this book? And Ruth and May are like, oh, we talk to angels. And Arthur's like, okay, freak. But he was so into Ruth that he didn't care and like just gives them the money anyway.
What was Ruth offering? Was she a sexy young thing, or was she?
She apparently was a sexy young lady. She was a burlesque dancer.
I have in the doc, Ruth's puss was so bomb he didn't care. But then I decided to not say that.
See, if you would have said that, I wouldn't have questioned it.
Yeah, you wouldn't have asked the question. So I guess I should stick to my gut. Yeah, but apparently she's a good-looking cookie.
A good-looking nugget.
A nugget in the rough.
Yeah.
And then they got a man named Clifford Dabney, the nephew of a local oil magnate, to give May $40,000 in cash and property, which is like $750,000 in today's money, including 164 acres in Simi Valley. All she had to do for him was share the lost measurements.
That's it. Just the lost measurements.
She's like telling people like the apocalypse is coming and like I have the information to save everyone. So like you better stick with me if you want like immortality. And these people are like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, because nobody know. They're like, what? Okay, because no one's ever really like said anything like that, like started cults before.
So they're like, sure, why not?
So now that they had all this land in Simi Valley, they built 12 cabins and a temple filled with furniture, including a massive wood throne that weighed 800 pounds that sat on 4 hand-carved paws and adorned with a lion's head.
That's what Maria sits on at Erios. That's so weird.
Yeah,
In my
her lion's
robe.
throne. But this temple was sealed off, so no one went in there. It was waiting for Christ's return. What was this cult? The Cult of the Great 11 is what they called it. It was also known as Blackburn, Cult of the Great 11, and also known as the Cult of the Divine Order of the Royal Arms of the Great 11. It's too many names, guys. You got to pick one and stick with it. So the inspiration was from a single verse in the book of Revelation, 11:3, and it says, "And I will grant my 2 witnesses power to prophecy for 1,260 days." Whatever that means. So during the day, the cult members worked at a local tomato packing shed, and their paychecks were collected by May and her new husband, Ward Sitton Blackburn, who was 29.
Oh my
So he
God.
was like-
Good for her.
Yeah, he was about 30 years younger than May.
That's so tight.
What were these women? How were they getting these men?
They're
I
just
get it.
swindling and charming. They're smooth talkers.
Because I'm looking at a picture of them and they look like
Yeah.
they were found in a gutter. So I don't.
Sure.
I'm just trying to figure out. And it's nothing about like their faces. It's about like it's just like literally like their auras are like goblins.
I mean, they just found really gullible people to like
I
follow
guess.
them.
Who
you
knows
know?
what these men look like? Maybe the
Yeah.
men weren't lookers.
But they're rich. So that if they're rich, they could have gotten
Uh-huh.
anybody. I don't know. I'm just asking.
If that's how your brain works, Maria, I don't know.
So this guy, her husband, was also known as the North Star of the World. He had a big mustache and 5-inch long fingernails.
What?
Ew, Rasputin.
Disgusting.
This is sick. These people are goblin people.
It is.
All
yeah.
of them. Every single one of them.
So in 1928, Blackburn, she crammed 2 cars full of followers.
I
They
hate the
embarked-
word crammed.
crammed 2 cars. There were people crammed into these 2 cars that were crammed full of people to go on this 2-week-long, 500-mile spiritual odyssey across the Mojave Desert.
Oh, no thanks.
And so this crammed caravan went to Stovepipe Wells, which is deep in the Death Valley, and then to this bottomless pit called Devil's Hole.
You know what else is a devil's hole?
Yeah, you don't need to tell me.
What?
You know.
Nothing.
What is it? Tell me what the devil's hole
Nothing.
is. I don't
Nothing.
know.
Keep going.
It's a natural thermal well of unknown depth.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know what it is now. It's Allie's. It's Allie's death hole. What's it called?
Crematory.
Allie's death hole.
There's a death hole inside the basement of Allie's crematorium, and it's also known as the Devil's Hole. It's like in Stranger Things, that weird.
If you pay extra, you can see Allie's devil hole.
Some believe that it was a hidden entrance to the inner world. You got that right. Some believe that Blackburn's. Okay, where was I? The Devil's Hole. So some believe that Blackburn's real purpose was to use Devil's Hole as a dumping ground for unwanted items.
Yeah,
Like
this
bodies.
is all tracking. This is all tracking.
Nay.
But also when people wanted to leave the cult, she would use bribery and fear, extortion, and sometimes force to keep them in. So like,
Yeah.
once you come in, you can't leave. Like the
That's
Roach
what I'm
Motel.
saying. Yeah. Apparently she like had also I feel like there's a part in every cult where they start like collecting guns, and apparently she would like pull guns on people when they tried to leave and be like, you can't leave. Like God will hurt you if you leave.
Cool.
Okay. So then there were sacrifices. At night, the cult members hung out in the natural amphitheater to watch the high priestesses in their long purple robes kill mules.
Ew.
After the sacrifices, forest rangers reported seeing cult members dance in the nude. There were also a lot of, this part's so sad, dog sacrifices.
Ugh.
They'd bury their bones and also do like other sacrifices, like the mules and things like that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yes.
If they're doing this just for money, right? Why go to those lengths? Like, okay, I get dancing naked and like you say like it's a cult and we're going to go through the Mojave Desert. But like, why do you have to sacrifice mules and stuff?
I think they probably started getting into it. Like, I think there is probably like a sense of like occultism. I think that this was also probably a time where when was like the spiritualist movement. So I think maybe that was part of it too.
That was earlier, wasn't it? That was in the
Or maybe it was like the 1820s or something.
Oh, well, later than that. Spiritual.
I feel like they just got really into it and just like started believing their own shit. They were also probably pretty crazy.
It was
1853.
1840s to the 1920s.
By the late 1880s.
By 1897, spiritualism was said to have more than 8 million followers. Okay, okay.
Yeah, it was around that
It
time.
overlaps a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, good call, Allie. Okay, so so then May also had an accomplice with them. I think his name was like Bo or something. And he was really good at pyrotechnics and like special effects. He was like kind of a magician. So they do these seances and be in the amphitheater, and he would make like doors slam and like weird like fire tricks and do tricks during seances. And it helped her gain followers and also make her followers be like, whoa, this is a real deal.
Yeah, I get all that. It's just like the sacrificing animals and stuff. That's like, why do you have to do that? Like, just stick to your fire tricks.
I think that some people, I mean, sociopaths like don't think it's bad to sacrifice animals.
Yeah.
P.S. I've liked every single name that you guys have mentioned in this story.
May, Ruth, Bo,
May,
Arthur.
Ruth, Bo. There was some guy like Dabney or like
Clifford Dabney.
Clifford
Yeah.
Dabney.
I mean,
That's a
every
good one.
single name. So
Cool, Maria. Okay, so there was also a brick oven in which they baked cult member Florence Turner, allegedly to cure her blood disease. She died 2 days later.
Crazy.
So this cult member like had some sort of like
God.
blood disease or something, and May was like, well, if you get in this oven, it'll be cured. That's what like the angels told me. And then she like died in the
Insane.
oven. I mean, they like cremated her,
Yeah.
which is nuts. 4 other cult members were also reported missing, including Ruth's husband, Samuel Rizzio. Mm-hmm. These women love to kill their husbands, which is like the one tight part. So then this family called the Rhodes joins. The wealthy family of William Rhodes and his wife Martha moved to Los Angeles from Oregon along with their adopted daughter, Willa. On Christmas Day, 1924, Willa developed a toothache and subsequent infection, and she died on New Year's Day, 1925. That sucks, like before there's medication for that
Yeah.
stuff.
All you needed was like antibiotics and you would have been fine.
Yeah. The Rhodes looked to May Blackburn for some guidance on what to do with the body. Should they burn it? Should they tell the police what happened? So May says that they need to wait because angels have told her that Willa is going to be resurrected and they need to preserve the body for the resurrection. So then they chloroform all of Willa's pet puppies for a ritualistic sacrifice.
They chloroformed them.
Yes. So Willa had like 7 pet puppies that she'd gotten like a week before and for Christmas or something, or like something like that. Yeah, she got 7 puppies for Christmas. And she died like a few weeks later, and they chloroformed all the puppies.
Good.
So
sick. These are sick.
Yeah, they're sick.
yeah, they're sick goblin people. May quickly put Willa's body in the bathtub and covered it with pickling spices and salt.
Why?
You'll see.
I'm sorry,
We
but
were
that
about to
was
tell you.
bonkers. I know, but that's just a bonkers thing to say.
I
that I
agree.
couldn't even
These
stop
are
myself
wackos.
from asking why. That was
Why?
so bonkers. I literally blurted out why.
Yeah, they're crazy.
They're insane.
And said the tree of life would come back to life in 1,260 days, 14 months, and 3 household moves later. The Rhodes settled down after buying a bungalow in Venice, California. So they have this dead body that they think is going to be resurrected, and they keep like moving it around. William builds a metal-lined coffin for his daughter and a trapdoor in the bedroom floor for visiting or quick getaways. In another casket next to Willa's, they buried 7 puppies that represented the 7 tones of the angel Gabriel's trumpet. They believed Willa would become a celestial princess and that she would one day be resurrected as a future queen of the cult.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So they keep moving Willa from one place to another in the house so that no one can find her. And a delivery man was bringing 600 pounds of ice a week to the house in order to preserve the body. And this went on for several months before May said the resurrection wasn't coming anytime soon and that they needed to bury Willa in a more permanent way. Like she kept putting it off like, oh, well, it's not happening. Oh, it hasn't happened. Oh, well, it might happen. And it just goes on and on. And then in 1929, when May failed to deliver these lost measurements of the universe that she promised her investors, they all went to the police and filed fraud charges. They're like, there's no coordinates. You're not giving us anything.
Yeah.
And so the total that she scammed out of people was about $200,000, which in today's money is about $3 million.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. So then the allegations of missing people started coming up. And so the police started looking into that. And that's when they found Willa Rhodes' body in that wooden box underneath her parents' house.
Also, it sucks that she was like adopted. Like, obviously, like, I bet she wishes another family adopted her. Like, why would you adopt a kid to like do that kind of crazy stuff to her?
That's insane. She was apparently in a fetal position wrapped in a white blanket.
Oof.
May was actually arrested and convicted on 8 counts of grand theft, and she was released on $10,000 bail in 1930.
The movie Grand Theft, the game Grand Theft Auto was... never mind.
I see where you were going. You see it?
Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun little
Everyone knows.
diversion.
Everyone got it. It's, So then in 1931, the California Supreme Court threw out her conviction.
Why?
Ruling that Why? They ruled that the evidence used to convict her failed to establish that she did not sincerely believe in her promises and that she did not take money from followers in good faith. So
like, just because she thought it was real, like, it doesn't count?
So they said that the victims appeared to be of sound mind when they willingly accepted May's teachings. What? So, and they said at worst, the victims suffered from their own bad judgment. Yeah, they basically were like, oh, you guys believed this? This is on you.
Victim shamers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the court said the approach used to prosecute Blackburn was a dangerous encroachment on religious freedom. And so they exonerated her.
You can't just like kill people, psychos.
But they never actually found the missing people. There's like 4 missing people and they never located them. And they could never really prove that she killed Willa because she didn't, because Willa died and her parents just kept the body.
This is May's husband.
Oh, with the... Ew.
Oh my God.
How ugly is he? He's so creepy.
He's gross.
Ward.
He looks like a mask. He looks like a Commedia dell'arte mask, like with a mustache on it.
Yeah,
I have
really
a question. Can you be convicted of murder if a body is never found?
I actually don't.
I think that.
No,
I think
it's hard.
Can, but I think it's hard because there'd be the doubt. The what is it called when there's doubt?
Reasonable doubt, because they may not even be dead. So if there's no body, can you ever be?
Yeah, you'd have to be all circumstantial
Let's
evidence.
Let's Google it.
Yeah, Google it.
Yeah, I wonder if there are any cases of no body being found. Like if someone just went missing.
A murder conviction without a body is an instance of a person being convicted of murder despite the absence of a victim's body. Circumstantial and forensic evidence are prominent in such convictions. Hundreds of such convictions have occurred in the past, some of which have been overturned.
Oh, like if the victim's DNA is like all over you or something, like
I
blood.
guess.
That's weird. I don't understand how you could convict someone though if you didn't know for sure that the person was dead.
If I'm a suspect in a murder but a body is never found, can I be charged? Someone asked that on Quora. I'd be like, don't ask that.
That was
freak.
Maria.
Yeah.
Well, I've been trying to get an answer for years.
Baria Maslucci.
In theory, absolutely. And I'm not even going you can be charged with anything route. It's just a question of being convicted. Digression. I hate those answers. Okay, relax. Okay, you can be charged and convicted of murder even if there's no body. But the prosecutor still has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you in fact killed the victim.
I guess if a jury convicted you, then yeah. Huh.
Well,
so May was exonerated.
That's crazy.
And then 6 years later, 1936, she published a book called The Origin of God.
oh.
She was like, fuck it, I'm publishing a book anyway.
It's weird to me, sorry that I'm digressing, but like a lot of people have asked this question on Quora. And other people have asked, like, how do I cover up a murder? Like, you can't just ask that.
Yes,
also,
you
like,
can.
I'm clicking on it. So
Yeah,
now
you're the one reading it.
Now I look weird.
I hope you're using your DuckDuckGo account and not your Google account so that they're not
I don't
tracing
even know
you.
what is DuckDuckGo.
It's
It's
the
anonymous
worst search
browsing.
engine, but it's anonymous. So, like, you can't find
Can't be
stuff,
tracked.
right? But you
I
also
look
can't
innocent
get an
because
answer.
I don't know what it is. You look guilty because you use an anonymous search engine.
They don't know I use an anonymous search engine.
Yeah, it's
You just
anonymous.
said it. You're on the record.
Okay, well, I'm not guilty.
I promise I'm not guilty.
I'm not guilty, you guys.
Guys, I'm not guilty. Nay!
If I was convicted of something and I was on the stand, that's literally how I would like talk to the jury, and it would be.
Oh, you have to be like really blasé about it.
But I really would. I'd look at them and be like, "You guys, like for real, I didn't do this," and it would be really weird. People would be like, "She's acting like she's."
It's always weird to me when like there's a murder trial and I know like you're not supposed to react to anything because like I think the judge can like kick you out, but like the whole Casey Anthony thing or like someone who's legit not guilty, Casey Anthony for sure,
Yeah.
but like if I was sitting there and I was not guilty and they were talking about like the whole time I'd be making faces like, are you insane?
Yeah, I know. I'm the same. I would be the same. Or shaking my
It's
head.
crazy
or
how
just
people
putting my
sit
head
there
down.
calm.
Yeah.
I guess
I'd be like, you
have
guys are
to.
being so weird.
I'd be like, objection. This is crazy.
Yeah. Like, I think
I get it. I know, but even getting kicked out, that would be part of the whole thing. Because I'd be like, kick me out.
I'd just be shaking my head the whole time like, nope.
Yeah. This is ridiculous. Your Honor, this is crazy.
Your Honor.
Your Honor, like this is freaking me out. There's no truth to this.
That's actually my worst nightmare. Can you imagine being convicted for
Oh,
a crime
God.
you didn't do?
And no one believing you.
Like you're yeah. Okay, so May
anyway,
dies in 19 you're set up. That was what I was trying to say. May dies in 1951 and then the cult apparently moves to Lake Tahoe and they're never seen or heard from again.
Yeah, they kind of just like fizzled out.
They got into water skiing.
Yeah.
Lake Tahoe's apparently really beautiful. I've never been though.
Let's get web crawlers to Tahoe, baby. Let's
let's
forget
go to Tahoe,
Bermuda,
baby.
Tahoe.
I would love to do a water sport. So then Melissa found this other weird cult, which I don't know if it's a cult because it's just two people.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I was just looking for like other weird mother-daughter cult things.
Yes. I think they're just like mother-daughter wackadoos, but they have more than like 1,000 videos online. And they also believe that they can talk to angels.
Yeah.
it's a mother named Lynn and a daughter named Jamie, and like they think that they can channel the dead and talk to angels and like go back in past lives, but not like normal new agey stuff, but like crazy stuff, like weird. They seem weird. They also seem like maybe they're on heroin.
Because the daughter looks like she's like being held captive or something, or like under this trance.
Well, also like a YouTuber found videos of the daughter and like her old Twitter account and like her old YouTube, and she was totally normal. And now she's like an entirely different person. So they think, that maybe the mom is drugging her, or she's under some sort of influence or something crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
At one point, the mom is like, my son had to do a book report on William Shakespeare, so we just channeled William Shakespeare and like asked him questions. And then I had my son just like tell his teacher that we did a seance with William Shakespeare, and that was it.
And he got an F.
He failed. Yeah.
Because it was...
But like they're complete loco brains. So yeah, I mean cults be crazy, man.
Cults be crazy. It's called the Angelic Initiative.
Yeah, and if you look them up, there's a ton of people who've done like reviews and like synopsises on them, because I think, or synopses, whatever, because I think they kind of like blew up on YouTube at one point for being weird.
Yeah.
But they themselves also have like 1 million videos.
And they have a GoFundMe.
Yeah, I found their GoFundMe, which I didn't even read it. Like I don't even know what it's for.
I think they're only at like $400 or something of like thousands of dollars.
They probably donated it. Yeah, they want to partner with Habitat for Humanity to build housing. The thing that I don't think makes it a cult is A, it's just 2 of them, and B, they're like, if you don't believe us, then like find something else to do. Like they're not trying to get followers.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyways, if you guys know of any other like female cults, we would love to hear about them, or any Los Angeles based cults. This isn't just a Chicago podcast. We're based in LA. So, Melissa, if people want to reach us, where can they reach us?
You can email us at webcrawlerspod@gmail.com, or you can find us on Twitter and Instagram or Reddit or Facebook.
Hell yeah, baby. Anyways, that's that.
That's that.
I'm Allie Stableboy Siegel.
I'm Melissa Skullmaid Stetton.
Scullery Maid.
Scullery Maid.
And I'm Maria Blasucci, leader of the house, and I make the rules around here.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
An Erios original.
Powered by Acast.